I welcome Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's fight for empowering women and announcing a 40% reservation for women in Uttar Pradesh. But what about the woman in Madhya Pradesh who happens to be a Congress worker? What happens to the son of a Congress MLA who's been absconding for 6 months? What happens to justice for this girl? Does the Congress party not owe her an answer? Why not answer this while talking about empowerment of women? Why do you need a separate time and place to answer this question when you are discussing empowerment of women in Lucknow? The Congress will not admit the fact, that the girl happens to be from their own party, and they will not admit to the fact that the MLA happens to be from their party whose son is absconding. Nothing to them. All the blame to the BJP because it's so convenient.
Good evening, Navika. Again, Priyanka, I want to applaud Navika. And I'll tell you 3 reasons why. Because you actually tonight, you caught both BJP and Congress on the wrong foot. They are basically washing their hands off in the river of hypocrisy. I'll give you 3 points why. Number 1, the Congress spokesperson as well as Manasi are absolutely bang on. The blame cannot be on Priyanka or any Congress person because for 6 months, if a person accused of a heinous crime as rape is absconding, even if he is a
VIP or non-VIP, I don't care. What has the government and the police of Madhya Pradesh done? They haven't done anything. They haven't caught that person. So the blame cannot be on Congress. The spokesperson must be absolutely right. Now let me expose the other, which is both the BJP and the Congress are because when it comes to reservation of I want to ask a direct question to Mr. Gauravarya, does he support Ms. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's decision to give 50% reservation to women candidates? Does he support, yes or no? And to the Congress spokesperson, I want to ask, you had 10 years under UPA to employ or deploy this 30% reservation for women in parliament. You didn't do it. So, you know, there is hypocrisy on both counts. Number 3, hypocrisy on the 3rd count. When the Congress grieved for the resignation of
when we brought up the 33% reservation for women in elections, that
please do not
BJP government.
I did not interrupt. In fact, I'm supporting you here. Did you not hear me? I supported you. Please don't interrupt. I'm not going to take only 30. Please, I'm on my last. Thank you. So, Navika, as I was saying, that the Congress demanded the resignation of the Minister of State when his son was implicated in the recent horrible lynch incident and the person, the son was arrested. Why has the Congress not asked its own minister or MLA to resign in Madhya Pradesh? So there is hypocrisy all around. But as you rightly put it, you asked the tough questions and both BJP and Congress have been found wanting. And I'll tell you the reason why. Mr. Bhatia, please, Mr. Bhatia, just 10 seconds. I'm coming to you. Pointed question to you, yes or no. Do you support, would you, as BJP, like to give 40% reservation to women candidates? And B, do you support Priyanka Gandhi giving his reservation to women candidates? Yes or no? No, thank you. Navika, tonight belongs to you because you're really shredding the party. But Gauravji said, for 6 months, the government has not been able, or the police has not been able to catch the rape accused because he makes a very serious charge. He says the rape accused is being shielded by Mr. Kamal Nath. Now I want to ask you the question. You have raided the biggest and the mightiest in this country, Gaurav. Why can't you raid the residence of Kamal Nath and vote out this rape accused? What's stopping you?
Can I respond to both of you?
Please.
You know, it's always good to have worthy opponents who ask tough questions. In my hand with proof. Let me speak like an advocate also.
Mamaji's residence.
Can you ask him to be quiet, Navika, please?
Residence.
Navika, I think he's disturbing us, nothing else. Please. See, in my hand, Anandji, is a 24th of August 2021 order of the court, which says that he has been declared a proclaimed offender under section 82 of CRPC. This is the process of law. And after that, there would be forfeiture of his property and other actions would also follow. And let me cite the example of Mukhtar Ansari. Exactly the same thing happened. The Punjab government was shielding, but we ensured that Supreme Court passes an order, and after that he was nabbed, he was brought back to Uttar Pradesh. This very culprit will also not be spared, but that does not mean the Congress doesn't need to answer why their own ex-CMs and Priyanka Gandhi are shielding a criminal when a girl has been violated. Her dignity has been violated. This is also a very pertinent question.
But Rishi Bagri, you know, Dr. Suman Siraman, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, Manaswi Thapar, they all find problems with the BJP, but none of them have addressed the issue. Somebody says that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is only the General Secretary of Uttar Pradesh. So if you ask her about Madhya Pradesh, she cannot answer. If you ask her about the number of rapes that take place in Rajasthan, in fact, there is a report unsubstantiated where a woman's feet have been cut off in Rajasthan. We're still trying to verify that information. I'm not showing that visual, gory visual, but I'm not saying this whether, you know, our team is verifying this, but I want to say there are crimes against women which are on the increase in Rajasthan, but Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is not in charge of Rajasthan. She's not in charge of Punjab either, but she chooses who will be the party chief in Punjab, who will be the chief minister in Punjab. But Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan and uncomfortable questions from these states are definitely outside her purview. How do you respond to this kind of a classification?
No, I just want to say, I mean, she refused to answer about the Congress MLA son. I mean, maybe it's an irrelevant question for Priyanka Gandhi ji, because the accused Karan Morwal is the son of the Congress MLA Murli Morwal from Ujjain, absconding from last 6 months, and the victim is also a Congress youth leader. Now, one incident in Hathras and in Uttar Pradesh, and Priyanka Gandhi rushes to hug victim's Bhabhi, who turned out to be a fake and a Congress worker from the Madhya Pradesh. One Lakhimpur happens, Priyanka Gandhi goes there for her vulture politics. But after 561 incidents of the rapes and the murders against the women in the Rajasthan, she is completely clueless, never utter a word, nor she shows any solidarity, since it's not a BJP-ruled state, so no outrage is required. Now, Congress MLA's son is absconding after serious charges of rapes, but she is not interested to issue any show cause notice to her MLA. But she wants center to sack the Minister of the State, Ajay Mishra, whose son has surrendered and abiding all the legal procedures. ऐसा कैसा चलेगा प्रियंका दीदी? Why this double send-up for the similar crime?
I am saying the protection being given to the absconder is from former chief ministers, powerful people, a member of parliament who's willing to fight the case. But nobody is listening to this Congress worker. Why, sir? I'm asking the question, and I will ask the question of the government in Madhya Pradesh, of the police in Madhya Pradesh, why this man is absconding for the last 6 months and no arrest. Why? Is it because law works like this for powerful people, for netas and their families? And I will ask the question of the Madhya Pradesh police as well on why the reward goes up from 5,000 to 15,000 when Times Now makes this a campaign. Why does the urgency not strike the police in Madhya Pradesh, the government in Madhya Pradesh? And why does Miss Priyanka Gandhi Vadra not talk about women from her own party not empowered enough to get accused rapists arrested just because she's from Madhya Pradesh and not from Uttar Pradesh, where empowering women is just an empty political promise? That's the question people in India are asking.